Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Leroy, also known as Yorkshire Fun, where I look at the weird and wonderful of the internet. And in today's video is a deep dive, a little voiceover. It's all about Marina Abronovic, and you're thinking, who's that? Well, titles and we'll find out. So from the clip thumbnail, you might be thinking, Marina Abramvoic, would it work in 2025? Well, this is the whole conversation. This is what this video is all about. It's like a little deep dive. So, you might have heard of a adult artist. I say artist. Porn star, porn, OnlyFans creator called Bonnie Blue. If you don't know who Bonnie Blue is, basically, she does lots of challenges. She was the woman that slept with over 1,000 men in a 24-hour period. Yeah, everyone to their own. She makes some good money, not my cup of tea, but hey ho. But the clips get going around on social media, and loads of people get saying, oh, she's doing what Marina Abronovic did in the 70s. Now, to be fair, you can't really put Bonnie Blue and Marina in the same sentence. One is an established performing artist, and the other is OnlyFans creator. They're just two different, completely different things. But basically, because Bonnie Blue mentioned about a petting zoo. Here's a little clip from her talking about the petting zoo.
What challenges do you have next?
Bonnie Blue's petting zoo. I am going to be in a glass box, tied up, and it's going to be open for the public.
Oh my god.
Get me in the box, but people can join me to me, touch me, just look at me.
Where?
I'm going to be in the centre of London, but in a house.
Oh, okay. Not
In a
like
house, in a
right,
glass
okay.
box, yeah.
I was thinking like David Blaine.
I mean, I'd love to be on the back of a lorry in a glass box, my way through the London.
Right.
That would probably be illegal.
Probably.
So I want to do 2,000.
2,000.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So the question is, what I want to know is, would it work in 2025? Would it work with a man? Would it work in 2025, and how could you do it differently? And it's like, also Shia LaBeouf supposedly did it like 10 years ago. He did like a performance art piece called I Am Sorry. But he was famous, and he had 10 items, not like the 76 or 72 items that Marina had with River. So I'm going to give you a little deep dive into Marina and River. If you don't know what it is, obviously I'm not going to go into petting zoo. I think the petting zoo has actually got cancelled. She got kicked off OnlyFans platform, and I'll talk a little bit about Shia LaBeouf. And the main thing is, would it work? Okay, this is a very simple guide to Marina Abronovic and River. So in 1974, performance artist Marina Abronovic invited strangers to do anything they wanted to her. Without resistance, she called it River. For 6 hours, she stood motionless as people used 72 different objects on her body. Some were gentle, others terrifying. Now, at the end of the video, I will put the list of all the items that you can have a look. But there was a number of things like somebody whispered sweet gentles and showed admiration in her ear. Some men touched her face, caressed her cheeks. Some people just turned her around, just repositioning her body like a doll, asserting control in a subtle way. Somebody decided to feed her grapes and water, showing the caring side of humans. Somebody started to draw on her skin, and this is where it probably gets a little bit more like creepy, dangerous. A man kissed her. It wasn't romantic, it was an act of control done without permission because none was needed. Somebody decided to grope her. They moved her around. They picked her up, started drawing on her skin, treating her skin and body like a canvas. But it was the men that started groping her breasts and touching her intimately, which was starting to get a little bit concerning. people sort of cutting her clothes with the scissors from the table, exposing her body piece by piece, stabbing at her clothes. A man stabbed a knife into her clothes while she was wearing them, narrowly avoiding her skin, a warning of what could come. Then one man used a razor blade to cut her neck slightly. Then he drank her blood. Yep, it's creepy, innit? Somebody did a mock execution. The most alarming thing about the whole project was the loaded gun. Well, there was a gun and a bullet on the table, and a man held a loaded gun to her head. Others watched. No one stopped him. It was very silent. Somebody wrote slut on her body. Somebody pinned an actual rose to her skin, embedding it in her stomach. But the loaded gun is definitely the most dangerous. By the end of the 6 hours, her clothes were turned, her body was marked, her spirit tested, and when the performance ended and she moved, the audience fled. They couldn't face what they'd done. Her hair had also turned grey in the process. Would it work in 2025? Would it work? Would it work with a man who's not famous? I speak about it in the video, say myself for instance. Marina Abramvoic went on to do many different series as an amazing artist, a street performer you would say. So check out her work, see her interviews. She's 78 years of age now. But I hope you've enjoyed this video and you've learnt a little bit more about Marina Abronovic.
One of my most extreme pieces was when I really pushed my body to the limits, because I didn't ever want to die. I'm not interested in dying, but I'm interested in how far you can push the energy of the human body, how far you can go, and then see that actually our energy is almost limitless. It's not about the body, it's about the mind who push you to the extremes that you never could imagine.
Now, a lot of the comments I had when I talked about a petting zoo or Rivermore equivalent in 2025 was, would it work with a man? So say myself, if I was in a room with a load of strangers for 6 hours with the similar items that Marina had, would it work in 2025? A lot of people said in the comments that women would not be as aggressive as men. And I think they're being naive, in my opinion. Because I think women can be quite sinister and dark and devious, and not the men through Marina's experiment in Rivermore kind of got more and more violent and touchy towards the end. But I think people putting too much faith that women, I would say, if I could be in a room and I couldn't say anything and they had the items and it was a mixed bag of men and women, I think the women would do just as bad as what the men would do. That's my opinion. Tell me what you think. Would it work in 2025? You'd probably have it live streamed and people be able to watch it. Completely different to how it was in the 70s. So that's my take on Marina Abronovic, the whole petting zoo, Rivermore, and would it work in 2025? Let me know in the comments what you think, and be sincere. Is it something to think about in the future, to try it? Like Shia LaBeouf was famous, Marina Abramvoic was an unknown artist at the time, she was getting more and more popular, so not many people know me. Don't forget to hit a like and a subscribe for the channel. Maybe we'll do it one day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you. Bye.